Hi everyone, my name is Marc Bates, and you've reached the Rabbit Room Apologetics Podcast. Thanks for joining us. This episode, the phrase, Jesus is God, serves as the ultimate impenetrable defense of the historic Christian faith. We tend to think that if someone sitting across from us agrees with that exact statement, they share our fundamental understanding of the cosmos. The common belief is that these three words offer a completely sufficient summary of our theology, neatly closing the door on any further debate. Well, I sometimes hesitate when I see believers relying completely on this one phrase, assuming it functions as a perfect shield. We must gently recognize the limits of our modern theological shorthand. If you rely solely on that simple phrase, you run into a massive theological glitch that shatters your defenses entirely. Unorthodox religious groups will look you right in the eye and enthusiastically agree that Jesus is God, while entirely denying historic Orthodox theology. They are perfectly willing to use your traditional vocabulary, but they employ a fundamentally different theology to govern your biblical interpretation. They argue that the incarnate Christ is the unique eternal Son, truly God in nature and status, who humbled himself to become a mortal man to secure human redemption. The core logic of the entire biblical narrative proceeds on the assumption that there is an infinite ontological gap between the Creator and the created order. Read through a proper Second Temple Jewish lens, you will see that Yahweh actively populated the spiritual realm with a divine council of lesser beings. Ancient Jews understood that Yahweh frequently delegated order and authority to agents like the angel of the Lord. Yet the unified biblical narrative fiercely maintains a crucial boundary. While Yahweh delegates authority, he never shares his actual ontological nature with created. Rather than relying solely on abstract philosophical categories, Bowman and Komosowski outlined 5 specific criteria utilizing King Hezekiah's desperate prayer. This came from Scripture 2 King 19:15, which I have on right up here. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord, the God of Israel, enthroned above the cherubim, to Jesus, they are deliberately placing him within the unique identity of Yahweh. Furthermore, you must fiercely let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. Right? The high Christology recognizes a real, eternal relational distinction where the Father sending the Son establishes an appropriate disposition rather than a hierarchy of rank. We need to completely rebuild our understanding of the incarnate paradox to rescue humanity. The Son took on authentic human flesh, experiencing true mortality, exhaustion, and temptation, yet remaining without sin. Here we go to Hebrews 2:17. Okay? Therefore, he had to be made like his brothers. That's us. Hey, isn't that great? In every respect, so that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in the service of God to make propitiation for the sins of the people. Okay? So, Hebrews makes it very clear. Christ had to be fully human as well as fully God. By entering the created order, the eternal Son willingly placed himself in a position of intense physical dependence on the Father, affirming that Jesus is both God and man, creates a beautiful intellectual paradox. When the infinite creator steps into finite history, human logic inevitably struggles under the weight of that reality. The Gospels present an astonishing pattern where the omnipresent one walked dusty roads, the omnipotent one slept on a boat, and the eternal one was born of a woman. This is the raw historical reality of witnesses describing the Creator interacting intimately with his creation. Jesus' earthly life culminated in an event that permanently altered the trajectory of the human race. The bodily resurrection serves as the ultimate historical vindication of Christ's unique identity. Had the dead, vindicating his teachings and revealing him as the Son of God, sent to conquer sin. Viewed through a Second Temple Jewish lens, in the flesh, died and conquered the grave, the resurrection stands as the rock-solid guarantee of our own future resurrection. Through the Substack. Also, if you kind of like what I'm doing here with the Bible study, I'm not going to be able to find things outside of Logos. So that you still have to watch the way it words certain things. But let's just ask a question and see what happens. And this will be in real time here. Here we go. So let's go with the simple one. Why is Jesus considered God? Right? Helps if I spell properly sometimes. That's a fairly simple answer. But let me just correct that one. Okay, so why is Jesus considered God? And in real time, so it's going to look through what it has, through its library. It's going to give you a simpler answer at first. And then it will give us a larger Father, Son of Man, God in the flesh. It does provide you with citations where they came from. And if you don't own that one, you'd be given an opportunity to buy it. If you do own it, it'll tell you where to look for it in the library you have on your system. So it's a great system, and this is great. You can have long discussions with the AI to really answer your questions about something. Okay, and I have these all the time when I'm making these videos. I question, what am I going to say and how do I want to say it? And this helps me. So you have access to this when you have the Logos software. Now, I've been using Logos for over 20 years. This study assistant's relatively new, okay, and it's still basically in beta. So there's a lot of changes coming to it. It's getting better, every month, pretty much. So I really like this. There is a link in my description to get a 30-day free trial of Logos, as well as a discount on the subscription. They've changed their models. If you hadn't found this out, they used to be where you bought whole big systems and you had put it in. And I spent thousands of dollars on Logos over the 20 years I've been using it. But now you can do a subscription, and you can just subscribe to a package that you feel it's the tool I use. I can help you with it if you have any questions on it. And I think you'll find it's probably the best Bible study tool out there, completely. Now, once again, if you have a question, ask it. If you have some idea of what you want me to do on upcoming videos, let me know. If you're a skeptic, ask me to prove more about what I just said, or give me counter arguments, and